One thing that Damian Lillard has unfortunately reinforced for me is that when you're in the NBA and you have leverage, you have to use it while you still have it. Because when the ball is in somebody else's court, there's a chance that you might not get that same love that you've put out. At the end of the day, the NBA is a business, and a lot of times, businesses act in their own best interest. And LeBron knows this. I don't think that it's any coincidence that LeBron was out there saying things like this right after the Lakers fell to the Nuggets in the Western Conference Finals. I haven't even thought about next year. I don't know. To be honest, I'm not quite sure what the roster will look like next year. I think myself, AD, Max Christie, I think Vando has a team option, player option, something like that. I don't know who else is coming back. I mean, the roster is not set. Obviously, that's Rob in the front office. They're going to figure out the best way to put this team together to go forward in the fall. But it's not like we have a team full of multi-year guys that are stuck in contracts right now. So I don't know. We'll see. Rob Pelinka and the Lakers would respond to this quote from Bron by securing players like Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell, and Rui Hachimura for the foreseeable future, all while adding talent like Gabe Vincent, Taurean Prince, Cam Reddish, Jackson Hayes, and of course, the controversial Christian Wood, who is now apparently getting compared to Paul Gasol of all players by the basically retired NFL cornerback Richard Sherman. Guys, I refuse to believe that Undisputed is this down bad. Get me up there at this point. I mean, I love Christian Wood as much as the next guy, but Paul Gasol, we have to draw the line somewhere. Now guys, this video, we have to talk about what the addition of Christian Wood means for the Los Angeles Lakers. But first, let's hear from today's sponsor. Today's content is brought to you guys by Chime. I think that we can all agree that a little extra money helps everybody to live their best lives. That's why Chime is here to help you live yours. What Chime does is it gives you that peace of mind that you've always wanted. With Chime's online checking account, you enjoy lots of perks that make your everyday life so much easier. With Chime, there are no monthly fees, you get fee-free overdrafts for up to $200, and you can also get paid up to 2 whole days early with direct deposit. And best of all, there's no catch. With Chime, you don't even have to hold a minimum balance. So go ahead and pay that bill a little bit sooner, or just start building credit using your own money. If you think that Chime is too good to be true, applying doesn't even affect your credit score, so just try it out for yourself. Signing up for Chime only takes minutes, so join the millions of other Chime members and sign up today. Get started at chime.com/coop. The link will be down in the description below. Trust me guys, you will not regret it. As for that mandatory disclosure, Chime is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services and debit card provided by the Bank Corp and or Stride Bank and A members FDIC. Eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Access to direct deposits up to 2 days early depends on the timing of the submission of the payment file from the payer. Out-of-network ATM withdrawal fees may apply. The Christian Wood lottery ticket is one of my favorite in the entire NBA. That is, as long as you're not paying a premium for it, sort of like the Dallas Mavericks did in 2022. I understand that the number 26 pick in the 2022 NBA draft, Boban Marjanovic, Marquise Chris, Trey Burke, and Sterling Brown might not scream premium package. However, with the benefit and pure cheekiness of hindsight, it's safe to say that it's all relative. For crying out loud, guys, this team only gave up 1 first-round pick for Kyrie Irving. But it's hard to be mad at the Dallas Mavericks. The best case scenario for that Christian Wood trade would have had the Mavericks looking like geniuses while getting their generational talent, Luka Doncic, yet another ultra-talented running mate in the process. The worst case scenario for that trade had the Mavericks creating roster and cap space while not having to pay Christian Wood that bag that he was looking for, which isn't really that bad when you flash back to the best case scenario and consider all of that upside that was there. Wood's upside had the Dallas Mavericks ignoring some painfully ugly red flags. So in Houston, Christian Wood's time was a beautiful mess, but a mess nonetheless. What do I mean by this? Well, check this out. Christian Wood's first season in Houston, he'd be a statistical monster, averaging a career-high 21 points, 9.6 rebounds, and 1.2 blocks per game. His second season would be more of the same, as he'd average 17.9 points, 10.1 rebounds, and 1 block per game, while shooting 50.1% from the field and a fantastic 39% from deep. Although these numbers were nice, how he would get them wouldn't always be pretty. Everybody knows that one big man who gets an offensive board and isn't passing it out for their life. So Christian Wood would do this, but with the defensive boards. There were times where Christian Wood would get a defensive rebound and not care who was ahead of him. There would be no outlet. It would just be Christian Wood time. In Houston, Christian Wood was getting his numbers by any means necessary, and he didn't care who knew, as he would completely take possessions off if he didn't feel involved enough in a game. Somehow, this man's defense had the ability to go from putrid to why is he even in the game? To be short, he was a liability on that end. Wait guys, it actually gets worse. At one point in Houston, things got so bad that Wood would have to be suspended for quote, poor behavior. That's not something that you hear happening every day in an NBA setting. Guys, as talented as Wood is, there are reasons that he was available this late in free agency and for the veteran minimum at that. Oddly enough, according to reports, part of the reason that Christian Wood was available so late is because he saw potential for a decent role in Miami if the right players were shipped out for Damian Lillard. If this report is true, then there's a chance that Christian Wood was simply tired of waiting for any trade to reach fruition. Regardless of any reason, it blows my mind that somebody who is currently 6'9" and skilled, who averaged 16.6 points, 7.3 rebounds, and 1.1 blocks per game, while having 52, 38, 77 shooting splits, was available until September 5th for the veteran minimum. You can think whatever you want about Christian Wood, but the reward to signing this man to a 2-year, $5.7 million deal that includes a player option undoubtedly outweighs the risk. What's the worst that happens? You end up cutting him and act like the deal that you gave him never happened? Do you guys want to know how good Christian Wood has the potential to be?
Wood is making a name for himself as he makes his first free throw. This was LeBron James Sunday, talking about Wood.
Here is LeBron James telling everybody on the Lakers that Christian Wood needs to be accounted for at all times because he's trouble. I guarantee you that LeBron James is not saying something like this for just anybody. If Christian Wood comes into Los Angeles locked in, then he could very well be the steal of the offseason. Fortunately for Los Angeles, I think that if there is any team or player that's going to get the best out of Christian Wood, it's going to be LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers. Darvin Ham is a no-nonsense players coach that will prioritize Wood as a person instead of saying things like, we don't need him to come in and be the microwave upon signing him. Don't get me wrong, Wood is of course partially at fault for how things went down in Dallas, but in my opinion, Jason Kidd really didn't do anything to try and remedy the situation. It truly felt like Kidd didn't want the Christian Wood trade to work out from the moment that he set foot in Dallas. Perhaps that's why Wood opted not to discuss any potential deal with Dallas this offseason and is coming into this upcoming year with a major chip on his shoulder. To quote Christian Wood, "I've always wanted to be a Laker. I know we can win a championship. Communication with the coach is a big key. Coach Ham and I go back to our Milwaukee days, and we've had great conversations every day about this opportunity. He believes in me and told me I'll be playing a big role and knows what I can do. I'm looking forward to this and for sure motivated after what Dallas did." Guys, just imagine a motivated Christian Wood being a part of a lineup that features Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Rui Hachimura, and Austin Reeves. That is a lot of length and versatility in one lineup. A major plus for Wood is that he can add size to a lineup without taking away any spacing. In fact, Wood has made over 100 threes in each of his past 2 seasons, and this man doesn't appear to be slowing down anytime soon. The spacing aspect of his game is especially viable when you consider that he's playing with one of the biggest downhill threats of all time that terrorizes teams around the basket. Now, not only is Wood a potential lineup amplifier, he's also a great cheap insurance option for when Anthony Davis inevitably misses time. Just because Jovan Buha said that Rui Hachimura is expected to start over Christian Wood, I definitely wouldn't be surprised to see him starting this season. As I just stated, he's a fantastic insurance option, and there's always that chance that he simply plays his way into the starting lineup. While I think that the Lakers would greatly benefit from adding a true veteran big to their roster, with Anthony Davis reportedly wanting to play the 4 more this season and the Nuggets being one of their biggest threats, As you guys can tell, I'm all in on the addition of Christian Wood. I have to give Pelinka his props. This man just keeps cooking. Guys, do you think that the addition of Christian Wood to the Lakers is going to be a boom or is it going to be a bust? Let me know what you think of everything down in the comments below. Clicking the video on the screen right now is a great way to support my channel. I'm GetLikeCoop, bringing you guys the scoop until our next upload.